got in late last night. I want to just, first of all, thank you for this warm welcome to this very, very important conference. In terms of the citizen, this is what democracy is all about. I want to thank you, Mark, for your introduction, and of course my condolences upon the loss of Marshall. Every day, Marshall, Mark, all of you fight for climate action. So thank you again for organizing this conference. In my district, the 13th Congressional District, which is the wokest and most progressive congressional district in the country. And my hope is that this wonderful two-day gathering will spur creative ideas for advocacy and engagement and will lead to new partnerships that enable progress. You as leaders in your respective industries and work day by day, you're volunteering, you're making a real difference advancing these discussions. And let me just say, diversity and environmental justice have got to be part of our climate action strategy. And I have to digress for just a minute and just tell you what I told the Democratic Party. I was one who fought to have a debate on climate change and climate action. That was something I thought we should have done. And as a member of the DNC, we voted to do that. And then at the DNC meeting in San Francisco, unfortunately, it was reversed. Our decision was reversed. And so we tried to reverse the reversal of the decision. And so we had the full meeting, and we debated why this was such an important debate to happen. And I wasn't going to speak at first, because everyone knew where I was. And then I looked up to see who was speaking for the debate and against the debate. And what I saw on this side of the room were probably 30 white people supporting the debate. On this side of the room were about 30 people of color opposing the debate. And I said, herein lies the problem, or a major problem. The people of color were talking about housing, we're talking about affordable health care, criminal justice reform. We're talking about jobs and white supremacy. People on this side of the room were talking about protecting our planet and climate action and global warming. But yet, both sides had not connected. Both sides didn't really get the fact that environmental justice, which of course impacts people of color in our communities, was so important to be included in the debate, in the environmental movement. So I'm encouraging you to please begin to broaden our movement and to make sure that environmental justice is also, and I know you understand this, an integral part of our climate action lobby. It is extremely important. I was born and raised in El Paso, Texas, in a neighborhood where it was primarily Latino and African Americans. There was a smelter, a Sarco smelting plant, which emitted pollutants. And we didn't know what was going on, but everybody in my neighborhood was sick. And right now, probably 75–80% of the people I grew up with are either dead or have disabilities, including my family members. And fortunately, we filed lawsuits, but you know what? Those plants, those smelters didn't shut down until 2013. So you can imagine, I've been an environmentalist since I was a little girl, because I knew something was wrong, and I knew that, my friends and my family members shouldn't be this sick at that early age. And so just know, I understand these issues deeply, and I know that your work is so important so that we can make sure that the public health and the health issues and the environmental justice issues are really important and integral to our climate action work. So thank you again. And let me tell you how proud I am of our young people. several months ago, they came to my office, high school students, and they had gone to other members' offices and didn't quite get the type of welcome that they deserved. So they came to my office and they said, you know what? We need to have climate change education in our schools. They said, and I listened to them, and they said, we need to teach every young person the impacts of climate change and how to combat climate crisis before it's too late. Climate change is a real threat to their psychological and social and physical development, and they knew this. And they knew that by failing to address climate change in a meaningful way, we are failing them. They knew that. Our children deserve a planet that is secure, clean, and safe for their future. But these young people said, we want a bill. And so I said, what do you want to say in the legislation? And they say, we want to see climate change and issues around climate action incorporated in the school system. I said, okay, I think that's a very good idea. And so what happened was our young people wrote a bill requiring us to begin to teach courses on climate change and on protecting our planet and on the climate crisis. So they came back to Washington, D.C. once the bill was written, and we had a press conference, and here are these wonderful young people. It was a very inclusive and diverse group of young people from high school, led by California kids. We introduced that bill that would require the federal government to require courses in the climate crisis on climate education. We had about 40 co-sponsors as we introduced this bill, and that's a big deal. These kids actually went to their members of Congress and said, sign on to this bill. So you all can help us do that. It would be wonderful if you took that on and let our young people in high school know that they're being heard, because they are leading the way. Thank you so much. Thank all of our volunteers, our climate educators, our members, all of you of the Citizens Climate Lobby, to really the dedication to our children, because this is what it's really about, our planet and the future. Thank you again, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful conference. And welcome again.